there's so much of an advantage that you immediately have by partnering with other people. First of all, there's blind spots that you have that you don't even know you have. You won't always be in a perfect, controlled environment, right, where all the conditions are right and the conditions are like, primed exactly for what you need for growth or what you need for success. You have to be like so committed and dedicated to the thing that you're doing, to whatever plan that you have, and stick to it. Commitment goes a long way. It can't be faked. Like it's not sexy. It's just what it is. Welcome to the Main Roads Podcast. I'm your host, Oba Okusanya, and I'm excited to have you here listening, watching. Thanks for being a part of our journey, the podcast. I want to get right into what I have for you today. Uh, I guess a couple of months ago, I was on the virtual streets of LinkedIn and I stumbled across an article, and it was talking about a study that an author, a man named John Spence, had done. He essentially had surveyed a couple of, I guess, organizations, and he was looking into what makes organizations successful, when it comes to like the way they hire people and you know and all of that, right? So I guess he was surveying some of those organizations, and what he discovered are these five things that I want to share with you. So essentially he found out that the organizations that do really well, because of the people they hire, focus on these five things when they hire people, right? So, I mean, in my head, I love to reverse engineer. I love a good reverse engineer, right? Uh, so in my head, I was like, hey, if he's studying what organizations need to focus on to make sure that they hire the best people, we can reverse engineer that and make sure that if I focus on those five things as well, I become part of the best people. I become part of the top performers, the top 1% in the industry that every business wants to hire, right? So this is how I got the idea for this. So it's kind of like a reverse engineer. But I guess later on I would look on the internet and realize that a lot of people have actually done this. So I'm not alone in this thought. But anyways, that brings me to these five things that I want to share with you today. These are five things that I believe that if you absolutely work on, can dramatically change your life. And I'm talking about like in the next 90 days. Also, if you stick around, I have a free resource for you as part of one of these five things as well. Anyways, let's get into it, right? So so the first thing John Spence discovered was that organizations that are really successful in terms of the people they hire people that are really competent. So number one is competence. What is competence? It just means skill, ability, information, whatever it is that you have that the market is willing to reward you for. Now, if you currently do not have a skill that you can leverage in the market to get some value, you need to go get a skill. Yeah, there's just no other way around it. And if you're in the business world, your competence is the service that you're providing or the product that you're providing. It's important that that product is good. It's important that, if you're an employee, it's important that the value that you provide to your employer in terms of the skills that you bring, knowledge that you have, it's important that you're actually good at that, right? So competence, like find something that you're good at, but not just something that you're good at. Find something that you're good at and something that the market is willing to pay for. Because we can get into this, right? This is why a lot of people believe that, yeah, like I just need to find what I'm passionate about and then I'll make money from it. I I personally don't believe passions pay bills, right? Like, fam, yeah, I don't believe passions pay bills. However, you can find other skills and abilities that you have, and you can develop yourself in such a way where you're able to pay your bills and live the life you want and still do the things that you're passionate about. Like for instance, I'm really passionate about music, and I love playing the bass guitar. But at the same time, the kind of life that I want to live and the quality of life that I want to have I personally don't believe that I can get that from being a musician. So I I developed myself, of course, in school in engineering, and now I'm in tech and all that stuff. It's not because like I want to be a project manager and I'm passionate about project management. No, it's that's a competency that I've developed and it's a skill that I know the market is willing to pay me for. Hence why I'm doing it. But the things that I'm passionate about are totally different, right? So I just want to put that out there, like develop a competency, find a competency, a skill, something that you can do that the market will pay you for, but make sure it's something that's actually valuable to the market. It doesn't have to be something you're passionate about. Just putting that out there. Anyways, that's the first thing. Now moving on to the second thing that John Spence discovered. So he essentially discovered that the top 1% of performers in terms of people that organizations want to hire are people of great character. What is character, you might ask? Character is, I guess, the attributes that make you up. Those individual attributes that when they're put together, they kind of summarize who you are as a person. So, for example, it's things like integrity and punctuality, and thoughtfulness and honesty, things like that. Those little character traits, a lot of people don't realize that companies and organizations and customers as well, because I'm not just talking about from the business side of things or from the employee employer relationship, the job side of things. I'm talking about both. A lot of people don't realize that your character, like I believe that your competence, of course, will get you in the door, but your character keeps you in the door and then moves you through the rooms. You know what I mean? Like, because the competence that you have, you can put that on a resume, you can show people, you can put that on a website in terms of business. You can show people, I'm great at this, I'm good at that. That's great. That can earn you the initial yes. But what gets you subsequent yeses is in addition to your competence, is your character. How truthful are you? How honest are you? How easy it is for is it how easy it is it for you to I guess to establish relationships and make and have good relationships with people? Are you difficult to work with? Do you like there's so many little things that employers are looking out for and customers are also looking out for. If you're going to live a life where you're truly, I would say where you're truly like offering the most value that you can, your character also has a huge part to play in that. So I personally believe that we should actually work on our character as well. And there's three, I guess, character traits. There's a whole lot more. But there's three character traits that I think everyone should actually strive to work for and strive to improve rather. The first would be discipline. Like discipline is a no-brainer. The ability to delay gratification, the ability to stick through hard things, the ability to, push through and hold on and keep doing the thing, that discipline, that is a character trait that will always help you, regardless of whatever field, industry you're in, regardless of if it's education, regardless of if you're a doctor, like you need discipline to get anything done in life, you know. And the other thing, I guess another character trait that I really hope that people develop is resilience. That ability to just come back, like that ability to realize that failures are just like a pit stop and not a resting place. That ability to realize that, you know what, yes, it didn't work out this time, but I'm gonna go again. Because the way life is just set up, like, can we talk for a minute? The way life is set up, you don't get immediate success every time. I mean, not even 25% of the time. I mean, not even 10% of the time. It typically takes a long time to get to a place where you're seeing results. And if you don't have the resilience, you might initially encounter some failures. And because of those failures, you might just quit. But what I'm saying is develop resilience and character. Resilience, where you're like, you know what? If I've set my mind to do something, even if I encounter failures, I'm going to pick myself up. And it doesn't mean like these failures don't hurt. Of course they hurt. But you pick yourself up and you keep it moving. Right? So that's the second thing. The third character trait that I really hope people take time to develop is adaptability. There is a lot of opportunity in being adaptable because it's like that idea of you can't fit a square peg in a round hole. Don't be a square peg. How about we be a peg that can shift forms based off of where we are? So people who say stuff like, "Yeah, I can only work in this kind of environment." Hey, I mean, you have an opinion; it's your choice. But think about how much that limits you in terms of your options. Think about how much that restricts you in terms of things that you can do. So I'm not saying to not be yourself. What I'm saying is be adaptable to other situations. Like you won't always be in a perfect controlled environment, right? This is what scientists call controlled environment, where all the conditions are right and the conditions are like, primed exactly for what you need for growth or what you need for success. You won't always be in that environment. But it's on you to be adaptable enough to realize, you know what? Okay, right now I'm working with a manager who doesn't like me, but you know what? I'm gonna still keep doing the best work I can. Or right now, I'm working with a customer who's not really respectful, but you know what? I still got a business to build. I'm gonna be adaptable. I'm gonna find a way around that. It's just kind of moving with the flow of things as opposed to being so rigid that you can't really like go with the flow. You know what I mean? So I would say adaptability is one thing you should work on. Anyways, moving on to the third thing that John Spence discovered. Collaboration was the third thing that John Spence discovered. He discovered that the top 1% of people rather are people who are highly collaborative. There's that African proverb, I believe it's an African proverb, I think, that says that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with others, right? I I coined it a little bit different. I like to say like if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far fast, go with others, right? Because there's so much power that you gain. There's so much of an advantage that you immediately have by partnering with other people. First of all, there's blind spots that you have that you don't even know you have in terms of your outlook and opinions and thoughts on life. By bringing someone else into the picture, automatically they help you with that, right? So that's one advantage. There's also the added advantage of the fact that you have somebody to kind of throw ideas back and forth with. You have somebody to lean on, especially in times when maybe you're about to give up or you're times where you're weak. You have somebody else to help. You have that additional help. The Bible even says that one will chase 1,000, but two will chase 10,000. The power of partnership is exponential. Like it's crazy. So it's from one to 1,000. Or instead of saying one which is 1,000, two which is 2,000, it says one which is 1,000, two 10,000. That's crazy. That's 10x. The power of partnership, according to the Bible, is 10x. So why won't you collaborate on whatever it is that you're doing? Find opportunities to collaborate. If you're an artist, find other artists to collaborate with. If you're a singer, find other singers, find producers to collaborate with. If you're a business person, find other businesses to collaborate with. You can enter partnerships with other businesses that help them make money while you're making money. Like for instance, if you're a realtor and, your clients will perchance, most likely, need a lawyer as well. Find a lawyer that you can collaborate with. That, hey, when you're doing your real estate deals, you can plug that lawyer and be like, hey, I also have a friend who's a lawyer. He'd be able to help you with this. Or I have a friend who's an appraiser who'll be able to help you with this. Find opportunities to collaborate. You go far fast when you do that. Like my mind is blown actually because, and this is something that I've been implementing even in this podcast. Think about the fact that we have guests on the podcast. That's collaboration at a high level. That it is collaboration. And I think a lot of people struggle with collaboration because they think, yeah, like it's only that they struggle with collaboration because they think they might be they collaborating might be kind of out of a selfish place. No, 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 no. Collaboration is supposed to be mutually beneficial. It's supposed to benefit the other person as much as it benefits you. For instance, the guest that we have on this podcast, in as much as, yes, they help us build the podcast in terms of, our branding, our episodes, and the value they provide, and, the value they give to you, the viewers and listeners. They're also creating content, creating digital footprint for themselves. They also get a chance to tell their stories. It's mutually beneficial, right? So find opportunities to collaborate. Collaboration is a 10x partner, is a 10x exponential growth value. It's a 10x hack. Please collaborate. All right, moving to number 4. The fourth thing that he found as well was that the top performers, the top type of talent in every industry are people who are committed. So commitment will be number 4. Commitment is the ability to, stick to something. And it's that deep decision, that decision that you've made deep in your heart to say, I'm going to stick to this until it works. I'm going to stick to this no matter how long it takes. Every time I think of commitment, I think of one of my favorite soccer players, Cristiano Ronaldo, arguably like one of the greatest soccer players in the world. I personally believe he's the greatest soccer player in the world. Fight me if you want to. I'm joking, don't fight me. But I believe he's one of the greatest soccer players in the world. Like, come on. And I'm also a Manchester United fan, so I'm a little bit biased. But anyways, that's a discussion for another day, right? Cristiano Ronaldo is an embodiment of commitment. There's a documentary I watched on how over the years he would train. This guy would be running in a swimming pool with weights on. He would he would there was also a story I saw where when he was in Sporting Lisbon, which is a Portuguese club, I believe. He after all the other players were done training and everyone had left, he would stay behind and dribble from end to end on the pitch 6 times by himself through different obstacles, trying different, just commitment, like just committed to the goal of I am going to be the best. But you know what's even surprising? What's surprising is the story that one of his friends told about the fact that he's so committed to being the best, not just in soccer, but in everything in life. Apparently, it's a running joke between him and his friends, the fact that like he wants to win everything they do. Even if it's table tennis or it's even like FIFA, like he just wants to be the best. That level of commitment is required for success in life. And there's just no other way around it. You have to be like so committed and dedicated to the thing that you're doing, to whatever plan that you have, and stick to it. Commitment goes a long way. It can't be faked. Like it's not sexy. It's not, like there's no, it's just what it is. It's commitment. You have to stay committed. Think about this. If you're going to spend the rest of your life with somebody that you love, that's commitment, right? Now, if you're going to also build something that lasts, if you're going to build something that lasts as long as a marriage, why do you think it won't take any commitment to do it? Why do you think it won't take any commitment to build a business, to build, a great career, to build a great family? Whatever it is that you're doing will require commitment. Stick to a long-term plan. Cut off all these short-term, yeah, I'm going to just do this and things are going to pop off in 6 months. I'm going to do this, things are going to pop off in 20 days, 30 days. Bruh, anything that's worth having will take commitment to get. Anything that's worth having will take consistent long-term success, long-term efforts, right? Think about the fact that as you, I guess, grow in whatever it is that you're doing, the level of effort that is required, of course, changes. But one thing that cuts across every level of success and every level of every level in whatever it is that you're doing is the consistent, like foot on the pedal, consistent. We're going, we're doing this, we're going to keep going. Commitment. So please be committed. Find ways to be committed rather. Stay, like, spend time with yourself. Talk to yourself. Like, I need to be committed. If you need to go stand in front of a mirror and tell yourself, I need to be committed, do it. Because that commitment goes a long way. You know. Finally, last thing that John Spence mentioned. If you said communication, you guessed right. Think about the fact that every human being has to communicate. Everyone has to communicate. The largest companies in the world have to communicate. The smallest companies in the world have to communicate. The grocery store you go to, you have to communicate. The workplace you go to, you have to communicate. You sell a product, you have to communicate. Like whatever it is that you're doing. You're a parent, you have to communicate. You're a sibling, you have to communicate. Like communication is this one skill that cuts across every aspect of life. But what is sad is the fact that even though it's a skill that we can work on and immediately see results and see quick wins and quick results, a lot of us haven't taken the time to be intentional about improving our communication, right? What do I mean by that? When was the last time you sat down and said, you know what, I want to actually make sure that I'm communicating better. I want to improve my clarity in communication. I want to improve my conciseness in communication. I want to make sure that every time I talk, people understand what I'm saying. A lot of us don't do that. And honestly, to be honest with you guys, I was there as well. A couple of years ago, I wasn't paying any attention to my communication. I just thought like, yeah, you just talk. Like you just say whatever you want to say. You just talk, and yeah, people will understand what you're saying. No, 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 no. Everything in life takes intentionality. Whatever you're not intentional about, it will just go to the weeds. It'll just fizzle out, right? So if you're going to be intentional about your communication, if you are waiting for a time to do it, now is the time. Find resources, find opportunities. You know, now that we have so much information around us via the internet, we actually have no excuses. You can improve on your communication. You have access to resources today, and you know, I want to actually share this with you. I'm I'm also giving you a resource, a free resource. It's going to be in the description below that kind of walks you through a 7-step framework, which is just essentially 7 steps of things that you can do to improve your communication. And I can guarantee you that you will see results immediately. You will get feedback, which will cause you to see results immediately. So essentially, I'm guaranteeing you immediate results. Take my word for it. Check it out in the description. It's a 7-step framework that's going to help with your communication. And let me know. Let me know how that helps. But communication is a tool, is a skill set rather that you need to improve. Think about the most important jobs in the world. The job of president, prime minister, a CEO. It's communication. They have to communicate, and they have to communicate in such a way that moves people to do the things that they want them to do. That's all politics is about, right? That Think about it. That's being a pastor. It's communication. There's so much communication involved in every aspect of what we do. It goes back to the workplace. It goes back to businesses. It affects everything in life. So communication is an important aspect of whatever you do. Make sure you get that free resource, and I hope I kind of help you along that journey, right? But anyways, I just wanted to share these 5 things with you, and I hope that these have helped in some way. You know, so just to recap, be competent, find things that you're competent in, and improve those skills, and make sure that you're finding skills that the market values. Right? Have great character. Like there's no other way around it. Great character will keep you in rooms and in places that your competence will get you into. Collaborate as often as you can, as much as you can. The power of collaboration is 10x. Commitment, commitment, commitment. Be committed to the thing that you're doing. Stay committed. You know, like tough it out. It's part of the journey. And last thing is communication. Communicate, improve your communication, be clear, be concise, and get that free resource, like I said. I hope this helps. It's been these 5 things have really impacted my life over the last 1 year, I would say, as I've been very intentional about improving in these 5 things. And I encourage you to do the same. I encourage you to like spend time reviewing these 5 things and see how you can improve on each of them you can create, some sort of action plan for yourself, you know, based on these 5 things and how you're going to improve in the next year. Like there's so much improvement that can be done, and I hope that this inspires you to get started. But anyways, it's been good hanging with you. It's been great talking to you on this episode of the podcast. If you're new here, like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think about the video. Let me know what you think about the things that I've shared. If you have anything to add, I would love to hear from you. And get the free resource in the description below. Till next time, God bless.